Namaste, a warm welcome to all of you for joining us for the Shraddhanjali, the memorial service on the occasion of 73rd anniversary or martyrdom of Mahatma Gandhi for truth and non-violence. Please remember these two words, truth and non-violence, and practice them diligently, and you will have made a huge contribution to bringing about peace and harmony in the world. My name is Atul Kothari and I am a trustee of Vittal Gandhi Museum, Houston. We have gathered today to pay homage to the apostle of peace who practiced and showed us the path by which humanity can attain peace and harmony. The path he has shown is so incredibly simple. Practice your truth non-violently. Settle your conflicts non-violently. Unfortunately, human weaknesses such as fear, arrogance, discrimination, selfishness, and others steer us away from this simple path, leading to all the human misery and suffering and using non-violence to settle conflicts non-violently. Gandhiji's philosophy has been practiced worldwide, impacting lives of millions and bringing about massive social changes around the globe. It was used in civil rights movement in USA led by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the freedom struggle in South Africa led by Nelson Mandela, and by Lech Walesa in Poland to create the first democratic institution behind the Iron Curtain, the Solidarity Union. It is still continuing to be used by people such as Greta Thunberg and others, and will continue to be practiced in the times to come to gain freedom for the oppressed and give a voice for justice to the exploited, discriminated. I urge each one of you today to do the following two things to pay homage to Mahatma Gandhi. Watch the documentary A Force More Powerful. It is free to watch on the internet, which illustrates the practice of Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy in every continent of the world. Make a firm commitment to practice your truth non-violently in mind, word, and deed. Little Gandhi Museum has put together a great program to pay tribute to Mahatma Gandhi today. So please sit back and enjoy. Before we start the program, I invite Acharya Suryanandaji of Arya Samaj Greater Houston to give the invocation, which will be followed by opening remarks by Reverend Mendy Lawrence of Unity of Houston. Ms. Anusha Satya, our charming MC, will then guide us through the rest of the program. Welcome once again.
Namaste. Dhrute dringhamamitrasya ma chakshusha sarvani bhutani samikshantam mitrasyaham chakshusha sarvani bhutani samikshe mitrasya chakshusha samiyukshamahe. This mantra is from Yajurveda and it says, O Lord, make me firm in times of distress. May all the living beings see me with an amiable eye. May I see all the living beings with a friendly eye. Thus, may we all see each other with a friendly eye. Om Abhayam Mitradabhayam Amitradabhayam Gyatadabhayam Parokshat Abhayam Naktam Abhayam Divanah Sarva Asha Mama Mitram Bhavantu. This is from Atharva Veda, and the mantra says, may there be no fear from a friend, no fear from a foe, no fear from one known to us, and no fear from the unknown one. May there be no fear at night, no fear in the day for us. May all the regions be friendly to me. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. May all become happy, O God. May all be free from illness, O God. May all see what is auspicious, and may no one suffer. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. O God, May there be peace everywhere. May there be peace everywhere. And may there be peace everywhere. Thank you.
Namaste. Welcome to the 2021 virtual Shraddhanjali to Mahatma Gandhi. This is the 75th anniversary of his assassination. As we honor beloved Gandhi Ji during this memorial tribute, let us especially open our minds and hearts even further to his principles of truth and nonviolence. These principles continue to be pertinent in our world today and in our own lives. Whether you are participating in person or participating via a screen, you are very welcomed by the Eternal Gandhi Museum Houston and Arya Samaj Greater Houston, as well as the Body, Mind, Spirit Institute of the Young Center, the Baha'is of Houston, and Unity of Houston. I am Mindy Lawrence Curtis, and it's been my privilege to serve at Unity Houston as an associate minister. Let us say thank you to the many who have given countless hours in preparing for this sacred Gandhi memorial. And we are especially appreciative of the leadership team of the Eternal Gandhi Museum Houston. It is their commitment that is enabling us to view this meaningful program today in spite of the many challenges, especially safety challenges, that they have overcome. So let us now move into the memorial tribute to Mahatma Gandhi and his legacy. Namaste.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Anusha Satya. It is my great honor and pleasure to be your MC for this event. Due to the pandemic situation, we are celebrating Shraddhanjali event virtually. I welcome you all to the virtual Shraddhanjali, a memorial tribute to Mahatma Gandhi. Thank you. Our first item of this evening is Bhajan Swar Sangam. Gandhiji loved children. He believed children are the leaders of tomorrow. Let's welcome Ms. Smriti Srivatsava and the Gems of DAB to perform this bhajan.
किसान चल पड़े हिंदू ওরে ও বাগান কেউ কথা না কয়, যদি সবাই থাকে মুখ ফেরায় সবাই করে ভয়, যদি সবাই থাকে মুখ ফেরায় সবাই করে ভয়, তবে পরন খুলে ও তুই মুখে তোর মনের কথা একটা বলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একটা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একটা চলো রে। যদি সবাই ফিরে যায়, যদি সবাই ফিরে যায়, ওরে ওরে ও বাগান সবাই ফিরে যায়, যদি গহন পথে যাবার কালে কেউ ফিরে না চায়, যদি গহন পথে যাবার কালে কেউ ফিরে না চায়, তবে পথের কাটাও তুই রক্ত মাখা চরণ তোরে একটা দলরে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একটা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একটা চলো রে। একটা চলো, একটা চলো, একটা চলো, একটা চলো, তবে একটা চলো, একটা চলো, একটা চলো, একটা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একটা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একটা চলো রে, তবে একটা চলো রে, তবে একটা চলো রে, তবে একটা চলো রে।
Wow, that was beautifully sung. Eternal Gandhi Museum Houston is very fortunate to have with us today Mayor of Houston, Mr. Sylvester Turner. Since taking office, Mayor Turner has expertly managed significant challenges facing the nation's fourth largest city, including budget deflects, homelessness, and natural disasters, such as Hurricane Harvey. He is currently leading Houston's response to COVID-19 global pandemic. Please join us in welcoming the Mayor of Houston, Mr. Sylvester Turner.
Jai Swami Naroon. I'm Mayor Sylvester Turner. On this 73rd anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi's martyrdom, I encourage everyone to remember his teaching of peaceful protest and remember his words, "You must be the change you want to see in the world." Those words have guided millions of people around the globe and continue to resonate. In Gandhiji's name, let us reflect on our obligations to our fellow human beings, particularly those who are less fortunate than we are, and commit to a renewed sense of purpose.
Thank you, Mayor of Houston, for sharing your thoughtful words and messages. Our guest of honor this evening is Consul General of India in Houston, Sri Asim Mahajan. Asim Mahajan joined the Indian Foreign Service in 1998. Prior to assuming charge as Consul General of India in Houston, in January 20th, he was Ambassador/DPR of India to the World Trade Organization, Geneva. In his earlier diplomatic assignments, he has served as the Deputy High Commissioner in Indian missions in Kuala Lumpur and Dhaka, and as the Consul General of India, Osaka, Japan. He has also served in Indian missions in Tokyo and Vientiane, Laos. In his stints in the Ministry of External Affairs, New Delhi, he has served on various desks handling affairs related to United Nations, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and Maldives. Besides, he has also served as the staff officer to the Minister of State for External Affairs and as Joint Secretary coordinating the management of the annual Hajj pilgrimage of India. He has a master's degree in diplomatic studies from the University of Oxford, UK, a master's degree in management studies from Birla Institute of Technology and Science, Pilani, India, and has completed 2 annual training courses in WTO law from the Advisory Center on WTO Law, Geneva. He speaks Japanese apart from English, Hindi, and some other Indian languages. He is married with a son and daughter. Please join me in giving a Texas-sized welcome to our guest of honor. Followed by a message from our beloved Congressman, Mr. Al Green. Mr. Al Green is an American lawyer and politician. Green has served in Congress as a representative for Texas's 9th Congressional District since 2005. The 9th District includes most of southwestern Houston, part of Fort Bend County, and most of Missouri City. Green is also a member of the Democratic Party. Please welcome Congressman Al Green.
Greetings to all of you. We are going through a challenging period during the current pandemic. During these unprecedented times, the consulate has been striving to support the community and deepen the multifaceted ties between India and United States. Today, we are offering Shraddhanjali to Gandhiji on his Martyrs' Day. Throughout his life, Mahatma Gandhi remained committed to his belief in non-violence, even under oppressive conditions and in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. Gandhiji led a life suffused by simplicity and marked by his acute sense of self-awareness, ridding himself of unnecessary possessions and turning simply to the basics and to value them. His ways show us the power of the immeasurable reserves of humility and compassion that exist within the human mind. His life is an inspiration for all of humanity. Mahatma Gandhi's message and teachings of universal peace, truth, non-violence, communal harmony, and service to humanity is of great significance in today's world. The power of peaceful means to seek justice, the effectiveness of non-violence in countering force, respect for diversity within and between societies, fighting social prejudices and promoting social reforms, conservation of nature, and probity in public life are enduring ideas that can help us to address many problems of the contemporary world. Mahatma Gandhi's teachings and philosophy influences the lives of many around the world. Dr. Martin Luther King drew heavily on Gandhian principles and teachings of non-violence in his civil rights movement. Dr. King said, and I quote, "Gandhi was inevitable. If humanity is to progress, Gandhi is inescapable. He lived, thought, and acted inspired by the vision of humanity evolving towards a world of peace and harmony. We may ignore him at our risk." As we combat the current pandemic together, we are reminded of Gandhiji's message of service to humanity. He said, "I am endeavoring to see God through service of humanity, for I know that God is neither in heaven nor down below, but in everyone." The Eternal Gandhi Museum is an initiative of the Indo-American community to spread the universal message and teachings of Gandhiji. Friends, we live in hope of a better world and we strive for peace through our actions. No one better exemplified this than Gandhiji himself. And as we offer Shraddhanjali to him today, let us take the time to reflect and move ahead seeking this reality. Thank you.
Namaste. I'm your Congressman Al Green, and I'm proud to be a part of this program wherein we will honor the Honorable Mahatma Gandhi on the 73rd anniversary of his untimely demise. As you know, he has had an impact on the world. His one comment alone has made a difference in the lives of many people when he indicated that we have to be the change that we seek. He has inspired us to make change not only for ourselves, but for others and indirectly for the entire world. This event is one that takes place annually here in Houston, Texas. And in Houston, Texas, we celebrate our diversity. Our diversity includes the community that celebrates the life and legacy of Gandhi. I'm so honored to be with you, and I wish you the very best on this occasion.
Thank you, Consul General of India and Congressman Al Green, for your wonderful message Every year, Eternal Gandhi Museum hosts various competitions for the young children and older. This includes speech, drawing, and eye tribute. Participants create creative visual aids, pairing with audio and descriptive pieces to spread Mahatma Gandhi's messages. With the topic Love Never Claims, It Ever Gives, this year's first place winner of the eye tribute contest in the senior level is Veer Sehgal. Join us in welcoming Veer.
Hi, my name is Veer Sehgal. This year I participated in the eye tribute contest, and this was nothing short of a very positive and beautiful experience for me. I learned a lot of things along the way, but most importantly, I learned about people so noble, such as Mahatma Gandhi himself and Martin Luther King Jr. Mahatma Gandhi was able to use love as a tool for nonviolence resisting against the injustice he was facing. He faced many injustices along the way, but that never stopped him. Similarly, Martin Luther King also used love and was able to successfully desegregate America. Love can be seen center stage today, especially in the COVID pandemic era. People scrambled to volunteer at shelters and food banks, just with the simple feeling of love. I want to thank everyone that gave me the opportunity to participate in this eye tribute project, and it was a very beautiful experience for me. Thank you.
With the nation already on edge in the coronavirus pandemic as protests turned violent across America.
The nation erupted into scenes of chaos. Dozens of American cities up in flames.
Another grim milestone, the world surpassing 1 million deaths from the coronavirus.
The world is broken. As we sit in awe at the beginning of the decade, we cannot help but think about how to mitigate the problems that plague us today. Global peacefulness has deteriorated due to conflicts, and we must rise together to heal. The new normal has arrived, but now, more than ever, we must embrace each other as one and support one another as we navigate these difficult times. Love is not just an emotional feeling, but it is a tool through which actions are guided. It is a force to bring everyone together. Love allows us to overcome our problems and have the courage to confront each day boldly. It teaches us that no matter what stands in front of us, it cannot defeat the power of love itself. There have been many noble beings who dedicated their life to the betterment of others, those who exemplified love. Gandhi Ji saw prem, or love, as a construct from which many noble things were derived. To Bapu, love was resisting injustice with non-violence resistance. Love was service in the community and simple living. Love was embracing the enemy with open arms, oblivious to what was to come in return. Love was the tool through which change was brought in the world because it had the very power to overcome all that challenged it. When Bapu adopted the method of nonviolence resistance, he demonstrated this through acts like the Dundee March, where he gave himself to the noble cause of emancipating the country. He wanted to see his nation stand tall and proud independently and did not fear what he had to do to achieve this. This was love. Gandhiji marched on 240 miles determined to show his dedication to the vision of having a free country. He feared not what lied ahead. Decades later, we remember Bapu as someone who was the epitome of peace, service, and the truth. His trust in the change love could bring resonates with all of us every day. Gandhiji taught us that no matter what stands on the other side, we must act in relation to it with love, and in doing so, realize that we have started the spark for positive change. Similar to Gandhiji, Martin Luther King Jr. saw a better tomorrow for those around him. He saw love as a way to guide action and specifically taught this to those he marched with in Selma, Alabama, and during the civil rights movement in the 1960s. Dr. King adopted Gandhian principles of nonviolence and with it brought a revolution that changed the world. Dr. King was just like Bapu, marched endlessly and fearlessly for a better future, not caring about what obstacles he encountered. This was love at its finest, for no baton or punch could deter him, because he had the power of love on his side. He used this powerful force to guide his steps on the path to freedom, wanting everyone to be treated equally. Dr. King put himself on the front line, committed to making a positive change, doing so by embracing all with open arms and believing that the love would conquer hate. To him, a world where people had equal rights was worth getting arrested, beaten, and pushed down to the ground over and over again. But he utilized the love he had in his heart for all of humanity to overcome those barriers. Mother Teresa was another prime example of someone who taught us the true meaning of love. Mother Teresa dedicated her life to caring for those who were less privileged, elder, and blind. Also those who suffered from leprosy. For her, love was put into meaning by action, and that action was through service. Being named a Nobel Peace Prize winner in 1979, she showed the world the power of love. She saw people not as who they were in terms of physical ability or age, but saw them as people who all had the same heart. To her, love was such that it did not measure. It only gave. This is exactly what Bapu had in mind when he said, "Love never claims, it ever gives." By caring for thousands of people in India, Mother Teresa showed us that an act of service is an act of love, and in that is an act of peace. This year has been filled with surprises and frustration, but that does not mean that we must express our anger and rage, for that is merely a tool of the weak. In the end, we must strive to learn from Gandhiji, MLK, and Mother Teresa, that if we are able to be strong and conquer what is troubling us, we must invoke the love inside our hearts and use it as a framework to guide our conduct and action towards each other.
Thank you for showing us your amazing work, Veer. We thoroughly enjoyed your visuals. We are now going to witness the second place junior speech contest winner, Zahara Latif. This year's topic is Change Begins With Me. Please welcome her and enjoy her speech.
My name is Zahra Latif and I'm 10 years old. Change yourself. You are in control. This was said by Mohandas Gandhi, who led the independence of India. How does one change themselves or the community for the better? Well, to me, there are 3 simple ingredients, which are 1. You have to believe in yourself. 2. You have to have a plan. And 3. You have to work as hard as you can to change. Today, I'd like to share with you a story on how I was able to complete a kids' triathlon, and hopefully you'll use these 3 ingredients to someday change yourself. When my parents signed me up, I thought it would be a little easy. It turns out not really. First, I had to believe in myself that I could do it. I also had to have a good attitude. While I was training, I saw how other kids could do it, and I thought if they could do it, I could do it too. I knew it would be difficult, but I persisted and did not give up. Such is the time when I jumped into the freezing cold water, and my instinct told me to jump out, but I persisted and finished the swim. Second, I had to have a plan. Step 1 of my plan was to figure out how the triathlon worked. I learned that the triathlon consisted of swimming for 100 yards, biking for 1 mile, and running for half a mile, plus I had a transition between them. Step 2 of my plan was to find out how much and when to practice, which my trainer helped me with. Finally, I had to work as hard as I could. I was okay with biking and running, but when I tried swimming, I found that I could only do 50 yards. But I practiced daily, and soon I was able to do 100 yards. So if you want to change yourself or the community, you can use these 3 things. Believe in yourself, have a plan, and work as hard as you can to change, because change begins with me.
Wow, what an astonishing speech. Thank you, Zahara. Our next program is Mr. Kamal Haji and the Zikr Band. Despite these hard times, music is something that brings happiness to everyone. To add a little bit of spice and everything nice to this program, with instruments and vocals, we have here today the Zikr Band to make musical connections with other faiths, traditions, and genres. We give a warm welcome to the Zikr Band, directed by Mr. Kamal Haji. As I said before, one of the missions of Eternal Gandhi Museum Houston is to give opportunities to the youth through activities such as essay and speech competition. This year's second prize winner for 11 and above age group is Rahul Sanklecha for the topic Lead and Simple Living. Let's welcome Rahul here to share his view on this topic.
Hello, my name is Rahul Sanklecha, and today I'll be talking to you about LEED. LEED, also known as Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, empowers engineers to make the best eco-friendly buildings with the least materials. Simple living has several practices you can do to make your lifestyle simpler than before. You can reduce your possessions, you can give to the needy, and these are just some of the things you can do. Then this is exactly what LEED does. LEED tries to make the best buildings with the least materials. One great example of this is the Eternal Gandhi Museum itself. The Eternal Gandhi Museum is a platinum level project which is only given to some of the best projects. Here are 4 characteristics that make it a platinum level project. 1. Retention ponds. 2. Wind harvesting. 3. Rainwater harvesting. And 4. Solar strategies. LEED tries to make buildings where you are willing to do your best and also stay positive. Just like Mahatma Gandhi said, keep your thoughts positive because they become your words. Keep your words positive because they become your behavior. Keep your behavior positive because they become your habits, and keep your habits positive because they become your values. And we want our values to be great. We spend a tremendous amount of time indoors, and the standard of the buildings where we live, learn, work, and play not only affects our health, but also affects the quality of our life. Did you know that buildings are responsible for 50% of energy consumption, 15% of water consumption, and lastly, 75% of electricity consumption in the United States? LEED has changed the way we think about how communities and buildings are constructed, designed, and maintained. LEED has diverted more than 80 million tons of waste, and that number is expected to grow to 540 million tons of waste in 2030. LEED matters because where we spend our time matters. Daylight, good acoustics, healthy materials, fresh clean air, and water design that encourages movement matters. LEED creates healthy spaces, keeping the bad out and bringing the good in. Cities in all 50 states and more than 150 countries are already saving money with the help of LEED. This could mean freeing up valuable resources that can be used to create new jobs, expand operations, and invest in emerging technologies. LEED is the most widely used green building rating system, with over 1.85 million square feet of real estate certified every single day. Simple living simply starts off with reducing your resources and using them to the fullest, and this is exactly what LEED does. And the rest will go on as you understand what it means to live a simple life. Thank you.
It is indeed an honor and pleasure to welcome our very special guest, Honorable Chief Justice of State of Gujarat of India, Sri Vikram Nath. He was born in the holy city of Prayagraj, formerly known as Allahabad, situated at the confluence of the rivers Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati in northern India, in a family of lawyers practicing law for over 100 years. After completing graduation in science in 1983 and then in law in 1986, he started practicing at Allahabad High Court. After practicing law in various fields of civil, criminal, and constitutional jurisdictions for about 17 years, he, at the young age of 42 years, was elevated as judge of the High Court of Allahabad, the largest high court of India. In 15 years he served there, he reached the position of senior most judge of the court. He was then elevated as Chief Justice of High Court of Gujarat in 2019. There, he has stirred his team very dynamically and successfully during this trying time of COVID-19 pandemic. by keeping wheels of justice running optimally at the High Court as well as the district courts across the states. Apart from many other litigant and citizen-friendly initiatives, High Court of Gujarat became the first High Court in the country to start live streaming of the court proceedings of the Justices Court on official YouTube channel as a pilot project. Followed by, we are going to witness the first place iTribute winner, Kushi Kabedia, in the junior category for the topic Messages and Symbols of Peace.
Namaskar. Good evening. I, Vikramnath, presently the Chief Justice of High Court of Gujarat from India, feel not only fortunate but honored to be part of this annual event of offering memorial tributes to Mahatma Gandhi, organized by Eternal Gandhi Museum, Houston, USA. I would pay my heartfelt tribute to Gandhiji by recalling valuable instincts and traits of this great soul, which touch upon my area of service, that is, adjudication and judicial administration. These profound values, learning from life of Mahatma, are preference to amicable settlement of disputes and adherence to utmost truth in litigation before any court. I refer to certain facts of the first case represented by this immortal soul from the introduction by Mr. S.B. Kher to the Gandhiji's book, The Law and the Lawyers. The first case represented by Gandhiji was of Dada Abdullah Sheth against his relative Tayyab Sheth, a suit claiming pound 40,000 of business dues. Gandhiji, although representing one of the sides, earned the complete confidence of both the parties and persuaded them to go for an arbitrator of their choice, instead of continuing with expensive, prolonged and bitter litigation. Gandhiji then managed to further persuade Dada Abdullah to allow Tayyab Sheth to pay him the money in moderate installments. Overjoyed at this success, Gandhiji concluded that the primary duty of an advocate was not to exploit the adversary but to promote conciliation. The other great value of adherence to truth was not only preached but also practiced in letter and spirit by Gandhiji. He maintained the highest traditions of the profession. He never forgot that if he was the advocate for a litigant, duly retained and remunerated, often inadequately for his valuable services, he was a prior and perpetual retainer on behalf of truth and justice. Gandhiji observed in his autobiography, I quote, "My principle was put to test many times in South Africa. Often I knew that my opponents had tutored their witnesses, and if I only encouraged my client or his witnesses to lie, we could win the case. But I always resisted the temptation. In my heart of hearts, I always wished that I should win only if my client's case was right." Unquote. If the society truly and meaningfully embraces the values of Mahatma Gandhi of amicable settlement of disputes and adherence of truth, the challenge faced by the courts relating to the ever-mounting areas will be solved. If today we resolve to succeed in this, it would be the greatest and truest tribute to this great soul on his 73rd death anniversary. Satyamev Jayate.
Hi, my name is Kushi. My iTribute was about messages and symbols of peace. In my video, I discussed about their significance and application towards the definition of peace. Some of these messages and symbols, such as the dove or famous quotes by Jimi Hendrix and Mahatma Gandhi, are well known, while other messages and symbols, such as the white poppy or a quote by Ashraf Ghani, aren't. My main intention was to combine both these well-known and little-known messages and symbols and explain how they all together reveal the true definition of peace. Overall, I enjoyed creating this video, especially when I got to draw the symbols. It was a bit challenging when it came to my voiceover and the written text. And it took lots of research to learn more about the messages and symbols that I talk about. However, I learned a lot from this process, especially about video editing in general. I'm looking forward to next year's iTribute contest, and I know that I will learn and grow more as a person and a video creator.
Hello, my name is Kushi, and this is my attribute on messages and symbols of peace. People can define this word in many ways. Some people might say that peace is a slang term, while others might think it's a magical power. People have different viewpoints of peace and use it for many reasons. Today, I'll show you a few symbols and messages of peace that tell its true definition. One historical figure of peace is Mahatma Gandhi. He has helped spread the message of peace and nonviolence in many ways, such as speeches and marches. He's also inspired activists, political leaders, and the general public to follow peace. All in all, Mahatma Gandhi will always remain as an iconic figure of peace. Another common symbol of peace is a dove. This is because they are very gentle and tranquil animals. In the Christian religion, doves are a symbol of peace because they are very loving and compassionate creatures. If you notice in my drawing, the dove was carrying an olive branch in its beak. The olive branch is another popular peace symbol, especially in Europe. In Roman mythology, the olive branch was a way to end brutal wars. The white poppy is a flower of peace. It became popular in Canada and the UK in the 1930s. Before it became a symbol, the white poppy was a sign of disrespect to those who died in wars. But over time, people have learned that white means peace. The last symbol of peace we'll talk about is the broken rifle, which is pretty self-explanatory. Since the rifle is a firearm and represents war, then when it's broken, it means war will tear apart. This was first used by the WRI, but it eventually spread to peace organizations all over the world. We've talked about a few symbols of peace, but there are also messages that explain what it is. The first message is a well-known quote by Mahatma Gandhi. He said, "There's no path to peace. Peace is the path." The meaning of this quote is that peace is something that has been given to us, and to achieve it, we just need to follow the principles and concepts of it. Another message is a quote from Ashraf Ghani. He said, "Peace is not a luxury. Peace is a necessity." This means that we need peace to truly live a tranquil life. Jainism is a religion that has followed and spread the message of peace for thousands of years. And a common phrase in Jainism is ahimsa paramo dharma, meaning non-violence is the most supreme religion. This relates to our daily lives. We can hurt people in many ways. The definition of this phrase is that non-violence is the highest religion, and this is true because without violence in the world, we can achieve peace. This message of peace is by Albert Einstein, known for his theory of relativity. He said, "Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding." This means that we can only achieve peace by first understanding it. The final message we will talk about is by Jimi Hendrix. He said, "When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace." I think it means that love needs to overcome world problems to have harmony. In conclusion, there are many symbols and messages of peace that explain what it means, and today we just discussed a few. From these, I've learned that peace means to be free from any form of hatred towards people. Another thing that I've learned is that we can achieve peace if we understand what it is, and if we can use kindness and love to overcome violence. When we understand, interpret, and follow these messages and symbols, peace is possible. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Chief Justice of Gujarat, for your words of wisdom, and Kushi for your presentation. We are extremely fortunate to have Fort Bend County Judge K.P. George. Judge K.P. George assumed the office of Fort Bend County Judge on January 1st, 2019. Prior to serving as a county judge, Judge George was elected to serve on the Fort Bend Independent School District, where he served 2 terms. Judge K.P. George grew up in a small village in the southern Indian state of Kerala, and in 1993 immigrated to the United States and made what's called Fort Bend County as his home for more than 20 years. Please join me in welcoming our Fort Bend County Judge, K.P. George. Followed by President of Eternal Gandhi Museum Houston, Dr. Manish Vani, for his special Eternal Gandhi Museum presentation.
Hi, I'm KP George, your Fort Bend County Judge. Due to COVID-19 pandemic this year, we are not getting together in person, but that should never hinder the significance of this event. Let's honor the life and legacy of Mahatma Gandhi. I want to also take time to thank everyone at the Eternal Gandhi Museum of Houston, along with Arya Samaj of Greater Houston, Unity of Houston, and the Baha'i Faith of Houston, along with everyone else that has helped make today's event a great success. Even though Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated 73 years ago, his teachings, faith, and love, honor, continue to live on through us and generations to come. He led India to freedom through his courage, conviction, and non-violent protests. He inspired political leaders and common people all around the world with his words of life and its philosophies. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. This quote is more important than ever before. We also look now to the future growth and development of Eternal Gandhi Museum of Houston and take pride in our vision of community where everyone can live in good health with education and access to opportunities, which is what Mahatma Gandhi fought and died for. I want to wish everyone the very best and look forward for a great event. And hopefully, we would be able to get together next year in person. May God bless you all, and let's all honor Mahatma Gandhi by being that change we all wish to see in this world. Thank you very much.
Namaste. Albert Einstein once said about Mahatma Gandhi that generations to come will scarce believe that such a man as this one, ever in flesh and blood, walked upon this earth. It is with great pride and honor that I introduce to you the Eternal Gandhi Museum Houston, our tribute to Mahatma Gandhi. My name is Dr. Manish Vani. I am the chair of the museum's Board of Trustees. Eternal Gandhi Museum Houston is a groundbreaking effort to preserve and extend the legacy of Mahatma Gandhi. Our museum's mission is to activate the universal values of truth, peace, love, nonviolence, and service. Our museum will be located in Houston, Texas, and it will be the first ever museum dedicated to Mahatma Gandhi in the Americas. We will create, through the life and work of Gandhi, a thriving educational organization aimed at transforming the world through its visitors. Together, we are establishing a new and sustainable civic asset for Greater Houston, a warm and fun place that motivates young people towards service and nonviolence. It will animate examples from across the globe, young and old, of the power of nonviolent conflict resolution. Our ultimate goal is to encourage visitors to embrace these values in their own lives and create a sustained force for social good. The Gandhi Museum will sit on 3 acres of land in southwest Houston. Architectural plans are nearly complete and the exhibition designs are nearing production. Our groundbreaking is expected in spring of 2021. To ensure the museum will be top-notch, we've gathered an expert team of museum education and exhibition specialists. In these challenging times, we are wholly dedicated to address these needs with Gandhi's powerful example. We are invigorated to serve and are confident that this new groundbreaking museum is a fresh, fun, and powerful solution. We invite you to join us in this exciting and critical effort. To learn more about the Eternal Gandhi Museum Houston, please visit our website at www.egmh.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. KP George, for your message, and thank you, Dr. Manish Vani. We are super excited for the museum. Our next item is Unity Choir. You know, I don't sing because I'm happy because I sing. Singing brings a symbol of togetherness and peace within the community. Unity has a great choir led by Dr. David York. They have an amazing team of musicians and singers who bring Aspire music on a weekly basis. The music at Unity is well known for its great variety of musical styles. Please welcome Unity Choir.
You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have arrived. Desiderata, desiderata, desiderata.
Go placidly amidst the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others. Even the dull and the ignorant, they too have a story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexatious to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter. For always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself.
You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and stars. You have a right to be here, and whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should.
Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideas, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself. Especially do not vain affection, not to be cynical about love. For in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as changing as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully the surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortunes. But do not distress yourself with imagining. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, Be gentle with yourselves. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God. Whatever you conceive Him to be, whatever your labors and aspiration, in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul. With all this sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful. Strive to be happy.
You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. You have a right to be here. You have a right to be free.
Up next, our distinguished guest, Mr. Rodney Allis. Harris County Commissioner Rodney Allis was born and raised in Houston's Sunnyside neighborhood. He holds a bachelor's degree from Texas Southern University, a master's degree from the Lyndon B. Johnson School of Public Affairs, and a law degree from the University of Texas School of Law. As Commissioner of Harris County Precinct 1, Ellis has played a critical role on the court by securing violation bail reform, flood equity guidelines, and COVID-19 recovery funding, including direct relief for residents, emergency rental assistance, shelters, and for those experiencing homelessness, as well as other innovative programs, including providing computers to low-income students. Please welcome Commissioner Rodney Allis.
Good evening. I'm Rodney Allis. Thank you for allowing me to join you as we celebrate the life and legacy of Mahatma Gandhi. On the 73rd anniversary of his death, his message remains piercingly relevant. Gandhi saw nonviolent resistance as more than just a tactic, but as a duty to counter injustice. He recognized the inseparable bonds between economics and politics and fought constantly to ensure that the voices of the poor be just as loud as the voices of the rich. While our world continues to grapple with many of the same issues Gandhi fought against, his words and ideas continue to be an inspiration and example for us decades later. Not only did Gandhi's ideas and actions inspire great leaders like Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela, Rosa Parks, and many others, but he inspires all of us today. Whether knowingly or not, our activists are channeling Gandhi when they protest, strike, and march against discrimination and for human rights. During his life, Gandhi redefined what it means to be in a society, to not just be neighbors, but to be good neighbors. And good neighbors don't settle for injustice for some people or equality for some. They want it for everybody. Good neighbors keep going until all of us are equal and everyone receives justice. So in memory of a man who died trying to build a better society, let us be as aggressive as we can as advocates for what is right and what is just. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Rodney Allis, and thank you, Unity Choir, for the magnificent performance. Before I request Trustee of EGMH Houston, Mr. Ajit Paralkar, to give vote of thanks, I would like to thank Eternal Gandhi Museum of Houston for giving me a wonderful opportunity. A big thank you to all of you.
Namaste. On behalf of the Eternal Gandhi Museum Houston,
It is indeed an honor and pleasure to give a vote of thanks to everyone involved in organizing this memorial tribute to Mahatma Gandhi. Our utmost gratitude and thanks goes to you, the audience, for joining us this evening. My name is Ajit Paralkar, and I'm a trustee of Eternal Gandhi Museum, Houston. Let us begin by thanking our charming MC, Ms. Anusha Satya, who did a fantastic job guiding us through this program this evening. Thank you to the young participants of Mahatma Gandhi Week 2020, namely Rahul Sanklecha, Veer Sehgal, Khushi Kavedia, and Zahara Nusrat. Many thanks to Swar Sangam School of Music, Arya Samaj Greater Houston, Ismaili Jamaat Khana Center, and Unity of Houston for their programs. It is indeed an honor for Eternal Gandhi Museum Houston to receive words of wisdom from our dignitaries, namely Houston Mayor Turner, Houston Consul General of India, Sri Asim Mahajan, Congressman Al Green, Fort Bend County Judge K.P. George, Harris County Precinct 1 Commissioner Rodney Ellis, and Chief Justice of Gujarat High Court Sri Vikram Nath, all the way from India. Our gratitude is each and every one of them. Last but not the least, our heartfelt thanks go out to all the volunteers led by Mr. Rifat Bajwa and Mr. Satya Nagarajan in organizing this wonderful event. As we all know, Raghupati Raghava Raja Naam is a popular bhajan, a devotional song that also happened to be a favorite of Mahatma Gandhi. To bring this evening to a close, I would like to invite Mrs. Smriti Srivastava and her group from Arya Samaj to present this bhajan.
Jai नंदन जय सिया राम जानकी वल्लभ सीताराम जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम जानकी वल्लभ सीताराम रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम 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 भज प्यारे तू सीताराम 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 भज प्यारे तू सीताराम जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम जानकी वल्लभ सीताराम जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम जानकी वल्लभ सीताराम जानकी वल्लभ सीताराम जानकी वल्लभ